And perhaps you'd wonder what's Red Skelton got to do with spirited competition after seeing all the big articles on the basketball game and the discussion we had the other night on basketball. Competition involves rivalries, involves failure and success, it involves passion, it involves innovation and civility. So the display has many, many different themes, and we felt Red Skelton fit very well into the theme of trying and succeeding from what looked like a very difficult circumstance to begin with. And so we asked Mark Kratzner to speak to us about Red Skelton. Mark himself has a passion for Red Skelton and came from Anderson down here to be closer to where the action was in the celebration of Red Skelton and his life. So I'll let him tell you about his experience with Red Skelton, but that's that passion of his led him here. And Red Skelton's passion to entertain led him to become one of the biggest stars of the, he was a star at each stage in the field of that time. I was surprised to learn that his TV show had been second only to Gunsmoke in popularity, so that's saying a lot. So at this time, I'll turn the program over to Mark, and I hope after the program you'll have some refreshments. And take a time to touch some of the screens. The screens have different stories of successes, failures, passions, some people that maybe you haven't thought about. So, Mark?
All right. Let's talk about Red Skelton. Red Skelton was born, he's close, coming up to the 100th birthday in July, right here in Vincennes, of a poor family. And so we're talking about the theme of success and failures and competition. He wanted to be make people laugh. He saw a performer here in Vincennes at a very young age and wanted to make people laugh. He went through lots of stages of learning at a very young age, performing in medicine shows, showboats. We'll skip to, we'll go to 1931, and he ended up in Kansas City, and he was the third banana of a vaudeville team. And during vaudeville around 31s was changing into burlesque, and that's not the type of comedy Red wanted to go into. And he got his major break. First break was doing walkathons, and I have a clip. This is our walkathon dance marathons, and Red was basically in charge of keeping people in their seats, or during these, like this is from a movie. Basically, that was the job. Red's job was to tell people about the performers, and also there was breaks, times for the walkers, Red's job, among other MCs, to keep people in their seats while the walkers were on a break, and just kept entertaining. He went through the whole country on this. Half the country done. Atlantic City, New Jersey, Milwaukee, Chicago. But later on, he.
Mark, excuse me, what do you mean keep them in their seats?
Well, see, people paid money to watch people dance, and so they had their favorite teams, and so this is the way, during the Depression, this is the way to get cash money. People, like Survivor today. People paid money to watch these dancers on the ground, and so some got married, some didn't, but you were waiting for the last person to stand. There was a whole bunch of performers at one time, and they kept dropping off. And you rooted for your favorite person. And like the Red had personal stories that they were. Some were widows, some were married, some were friends, some had hardships. You were just, each dancer had had personality. And but like I said, they had breaks. They had like 15-minute breaks. So so they can rest, but so people didn't leave while their people were on a break, or the dancers were on a break. Red was jobs to keep them entertained. They had music, also comics, but one of Red's jobs was to keep people entertained, so people wouldn't leave, and so they'll wait for it until the break was over, and then they came back on dance floor, and Red talked some more. But during this whole walkathon period, there were breaks, there were lag times, but Red was to keep the people entertained during that time. But like I said, near the end of the Depression, around 1934, the walkathons died down, and Red had to get a new job, and he got a new job performing in Canada. And he was doing his routines. And most of his routines were like insults, or he was insulted and back. He wanted something different. So his wife invented a Dunkin' Donut routine, and this was major, and he got major fame from this routine. And I have a clip of that. This is from a TV show called Shower of Stars, and the theme of this episode was showstoppers. And so it was important enough to feature Red on that program because this Dunkin' Donut routine was a showstopper.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Merman. I don't know if I've ever stopped any shows. I've slowed them up a little. But tonight we're going to do an educational feature for the little ones who might be watching in, and for some of the adults. Statistics prove that 9 out of 10 people in America today do not know how to participate in the great sport of dunking donuts. So I'll now try to show you how. First, always wear a hat. Never go dunking without a hat. Next, you need a napkin. And we get... Wrong set. Oh, boy, that'll be trouble when they find that sheet going out there. Now, the next thing you do is to find the temperature of your coffee. It looks like something they rang out of a mop. Coffee should be at a certain temperature when used for dunking. If it's too hot, the donut will become soggy before you can eat it. So you use the index finger as a thermometer. My. Now that's too hot for dunking, but how do you cool it? It's bad manners to blow into a cup. So you pour it into the saucer. But it's still bad manners because if you don't use your judgment now and you blow too hard, the guy across the table from you will get it right in the foot. So you take the hat and you fan it like that. Speaking of coffee, I love people that go on these coffee breaks. Have you ever noticed some of them around 7 o'clock in the morning, some of them still half asleep? They sit there, go stir crazy. Then you have those sugar men. But now we come to the, if you care for any of these jokes, just write in. Now we have different types of people in the way they dunk. First you have the ordinary dunker, a fellow with no finesse, one of these boys. Could have at least cooked them. Next we... What are they made out of? Peanut butter? Next we have a cross-eyed man, dunking. Now he's allowed 2 cups of coffee. Not to embarrass him, he sets 1 foot from the table like this. While everyone else is dunking, he dunks this way. If you knew how many times we had to rehearse this, it'd be a lot funnier. me. I gotta rinse that last baby down. That coffee, where did you get it? I like wheat coffee, but that stuff's helpless. Just write in, we'll send them to you. Now, next we have the society dunkers, the debutantes. Of course, you know what a debutante is. That's an old maid who overdid it. They use a little more finesse with a knife and a fork like this. Like... I think I speared a tonsil. Now, next we have the sneaker. Now, a sneaker is the lowest type of all dunkers. They sit around like this when no one's looking, they dunk. Then when someone is looking, a dirty sneak, they dunk this way. Oh, my, look what I've done. I think the cameras had better move back about 3 feet. So help me, after tonight, I'll never look another one of these things. It gets bigger every time I... Bigger and heavier. That thing weighs a ton, no?
This routine got him nationwide recognition, but he was recognized as the Canadian clown because he's so famous. But he performed in front of President Roosevelt during one of his birthday parties, and also he was offered to perform on Rudy Valley's radio program named Doughnuts. So this got national attention. Got so much national attention that he tried to do went on to Hollywood to do a film, having a wonderful time, but he did not get a contract from that presentation. The film did not do so well, but he also did Dunkin' Donuts in that film, and most of the critics liked his part, but they did not like the film. So he went back to New York. But later on in 1941, he did get another chance to go to Hollywood. He went to MGM. Also, 41 was a major year for him. He did radio, but in 41 he got his MGM contract. He was mostly he started out doing bit parts. MGM had a sort of routine of trying new talent in major films, but he got his major starring part was in a film called Whistling in the Dark. He was a feature player in that. Originally, it was Conrad Birdie was a star then, and he was supposed to be the star of the show. But after previews, Red got bumped up to become the lead character in his trailer.